Hello peoples, it's Landon here, and I have been putting off this video for a little bit of time. I've been going through quite a few emotions lately, just because something blindsides you in life and it totally ruins everything. The last video I was telling you that I was having a roommate move in to the basement bedroom like at the end of this month, and it was going really hard on the basements. And then I got a phone call from my insurance, and I've lived in my house for a year now, so my insurance was coming up for renewal, and they were just like basically saying, oh yeah, the premium's going up a little bit, blah blah blah. And at the end of the conversation, they said to me, oh, and it says here you have 2 rented rooms. Is that still the case? And I said, well, yeah, it is. But then the light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, oh, and right now I'm putting 2 extra bedrooms in my basement. So I'm eventually going to get 4 housemates, so I need to get insurance for that. And Pandora's box exploded. So it turns out, after going through a week of trying to get quotes and whatever from different companies, and going through all that frustration, that in Canada, they do not have a homeowner's policy that will cover more than 2 housemates, like 2 rented rooms in your house. So in order to have 3 or more, you have to get a commercial policy, and I have spoken to probably half a dozen insurance companies. They will not give a quote. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. It's like maybe they have to go to underwriting and it's a big hassle to them, but until I actually have like the rooms ready to rent out, they won't give a quote. But one insurer told me that you're looking at about $8,000 a year in premiums, which is crazy because right now with just 2 housemates, my insurance is $1,350 a year. So how is it that 2 extra housemates suddenly makes your premiums jump up like 4-fold? It makes no sense. Not only that, the coverage is worse. So you're not covered for ice damming, you're not covered for sewer backup. It's literally like wind and fire. That's it. So personally, I feel like I'm getting ripped off, right? I'm like, so basically you're telling me that because I'm making rental income, you just want like a big sack of money just cuz. And I didn't say that to them, but that's the impression I was getting. So there's a couple of options. One, I keep just the vanilla insurance to keep my mortgage happy, because you have to insure the house in order for you to like have a mortgage on a property, and rent out 4 rooms and hope the place doesn't burn down. Number 2, I pay the $8,000 a year in insurance. The downside to that is that $8,000 a year is more money than I would make renting out just 1 room in the basement. So it's just completely like to have 2 extra people for a little bit of extra money is not going to make a lot of sense. And plus, who's to say that even if I pay the $8,000 a year to insurance, that if I have a house fire, that they're not going to find some other limitation and exclusion that they decline my claim. I mean, this is insurance. The other option is that, I just work my 9-to-5 job for 20 years. I only rent out to 2 rooms. I mean, $1,200 a month is still pretty good. It's not the $2,400 that I expected. But, I mean, it's better than nothing. And then the 4th option, which I'm really kind of taking a little bit seriously, is that the problem is that I can't rent out 2 rooms. So I went to the insurance, I said, what if I rent out 1 room to 2 people? Like, so I have 2 rented rooms, but I have 4 people living with me. Well, no, we can't do that because like they're not all family members. You could do that if they're brother and sister, but because they're not family members, we can't do it. I've also said, well, why don't I have one insurance cover the top floor, another insurance cover the bottom? No, can't do that. In fact, both policies would be null and void because it's a commercial property. So I thought, okay, so the whole issue is that A, they're not family members, and B, I'm renting out rooms. Well, there's other ways to make income by not renting out rooms and not renting out to people. So I initially thought, well, why don't I just rent out storage? I mean, we can just like make some kind of deal where you don't live here, but you can certainly store your items here. Unfortunately, storage rental isn't that much money. It's maybe like $3 a day. It's really not worth it. And then I thought, well, what if I rent it out to not people? I mean, so what if I started like a cat boarding business in the basement and 150 square foot bedroom, don't rent it out to a person, rent it out to a cat. Someone's going on vacation and they want their cat to have a nice big room instead of like a little itty bitty kennel. That's an option. So that's what I'm kind of playing with right now. Maybe I'll start a new business venture, who knows? Anywho, what else is due? So obviously, the room in the basement is not complete. I got the electrical in, but I haven't been going hard on it because again, I have like no motivation if I can't rent out the room and have my place covered. So I've been kind of going slow on that. Kelsey, who was hardly ever here, she was like paying me rent for months and months. She did move out, and now we have a new housemate. He just moved in 3 days ago, and so far so good. Let me guys know what you think I should do with the basement now that like I can't rent it out to people because insurance won't cover me. What do you think a solution could be? Because I'd really like to know. I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, well, you should just do it under the table. I'm like, no, you can't do it under the table. Like when you make a claim, they're gonna like ask neighbors and ask Canada Revenue Agency, oh, how many people live here? And then like decline your claim, right? So let me know what you guys think and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.